Good morning, everyone, and welcome to June 2nd's energy mantra for today. So, today's energy mantra is I nurture and play with my inner child today. Once again, today's energy mantra is I nurture and play with my inner child today. So today's energy mantra is a wonderful invitation for us to begin to interact with the truth of who we are, the truth, the innocence that we are. Yes, we are all going through, this big transformative time. We're all going through it. We're all going through it in different ways. But what we have to remember is that we all need a little bit of time to take a step back and to wonder again, to be in that sense of anything is possible, to forget everything we think and everything we think we know, and step in to the infinite possibilities that are there. We forget as we grow up, we really do forget how to play. As we grow up, we forget that we can wonder about things. Just because in school you learned how a plant grows doesn't mean that you can't wonder how the color comes about or how wonderful it is to see that flower. I think all too often we really do forget how to just be silly, how to play. And one of the best ways that you can begin to play and really use this to your best advantage is to play with what if. And whatever negative you may have in your mind, maybe you really want to start a business. Maybe you really want to listen to your intuition more, but you're in here, you're saying, well, I know I can't do that, or I'm not good enough, or I don't have the ability, whatever the case may be. Instead, what we want to do is we want to say, well, what if I did listen to my intuition? What if I did start that business? What if that business was a huge success? What if I did start listening to my intuition and I started getting more intuitive hits? And what if those intuitive hits were leading me towards something bigger and better? What if the relationship that I want or the relationship that I desire is out there? And that's just a way of playing. You're playing with the infinite possibilities. You're playing with your intuition. You're playing with the universe. The universe is your perfect playmate. Play with it. Stop taking everything. That's what we have a tendency to do, is we take everything so seriously. And consider the ascended masters. If you look at pictures of the ascended masters, they're always smiling. And for me, when I look at that, I realize that they are smiling because, yes, they've reached a state of, happiness and nirvana, but they also don't take life so seriously. Yes, we're going through transformative times. Yes, there is shadow work that needs to be done. But we are still under this impression that shadow work and, doing the work has to be hard and has to be, tumultuous and has to be, has to be suffering. It doesn't have to be that way. That's just the way that we think it has to go. There are certain things that we just breeze right through once we look at them and once we laugh at them. There's a beautiful line in A Course in Miracles and it says, laugh with me and all of your troubles will disappear with our laughter. And of course, that's just a summarization. It's not the actual quote, but think about that. If we just laugh at those issues and we're not laughing and trying to make it less serious, we're laughing at the belief that maybe we have in it that it is impossible to solve. Maybe we're laughing at the belief that we could ever be without what we need. Maybe we're laughing at the belief that We are less than the holy, perfect child of God, free of all limits, safe and healed and whole. When we laugh, what we're doing is we're kind of saying, I disempower you believe. So that's what we want to do today. We want to play. We want to be silly. Just a little bit, not for the whole day, maybe for 5 minutes, maybe for 10 minutes, maybe for an hour. But just start that process today of playing with your true innocence. You know, the greatest way that the greatest research that is ever done is always through a sense of play. You know, you're playing with ideas, you're getting those creative juices flowing because you're not stuck on one particular thing. You are allowing each individual idea to come to you and to kind of just flow. If it feels good, great. Maybe you play with that idea a little bit more. And if you start to see maybe it's not working so much, that's okay. You put it away and you play with a new idea. That's what we want to do. We want to play with ideas. We want to play with beliefs. We want everything. We want to be like those children. You know, if you tell a child we're going on a field trip, it doesn't matter if that field trip's down the street. It doesn't matter if that field trip's to the children's museum. It doesn't matter if that field trip's to the grocery store that they've been to 16 times. They are going to be ecstatic. They're like, oh my God, a field trip. And they're excited because they're in that state of wonder. They don't think that they know everything. They don't try to know everything. They're in the moment and they're willing to just go with that flow. And so are you willing to do that today? Are you willing to just be in the moment? Are you willing to take yourself on a field trip, wherever that may be? Really ask yourself these questions today. Play with the what ifs, play with ideas, play with beliefs. Be malleable today and let spirit, let the universe be your playmate and let it help to foster and encourage you to remember that anything is possible, to foster within you that creativity that is there because you are an infinite creative being. That is what you are. And so you never lose your innocence. You can never lose your sense of creativity. You can never lose your connection to the divine. You can never lose any of that. What we do is we put it away because we think we put it into a toy box, if you will, and we close that box and say, okay, now I'm a big boy, now I'm a big girl, and now I'm an adult, so got to lock all that stuff up. No, we want to unlock that box and continue to play, continue to allow ourselves to express and to really step in to those creative flows. So that is today's energy mantra. I nurture and play with my inner child today. So play with it, be with it, and enjoy life. Remember, life is supposed to be fun. What is more fun than being able to play a role? Because that's all any of us are doing, is we're playing a role. And guess what? You can put one role away and you can pick up another one. That's the beauty. That's the fun of life, is you get to play whatever role you want to play. If currently you're in a role that you don't like, okay. Well, that role, no longer serves a purpose. I do not need it anymore. And you know what? I'm ready to play a new role. And maybe, that means you dye your hair a different color. Maybe that means you, instead of going to the left, you go to the right. Maybe that means for you, you start to think in a different way. Whatever that means for you, play with it today. Life is a play. You are a player in that play. You don't like the role you're playing? Great, put it away and start a new one. So that is today's energy mantra. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for being here. And once again, I encourage you to play and be silly today and laugh often today.